What's up, Toros? Welcome back to another episode of Ctrl+Alt+DMAC. Today, I am here with the lovely Sylvia and Rosa. Do you guys want to give a little introduction about yourselves?
Hello, my name is Sylvia. Former Dominguez Hills student, and yeah, I guess that's just me. I don't really have much else to say. New filmmaker in the works.
All right.
Hi, I'm Rosa. I'm an alumni from Dominguez as well. We both graduated back in 2023, and we're filmmakers in the making.
Nice.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So my first question is really, really easy. Just break the ice. What are your guys' favorite movies of all time? If you had to pick one film to take with you on an island to watch for the rest of your life, what would it be?
For me, for sure, would have to be Fantastic Mr. Fox by Wes Anderson. He is one of my favorite directors. Love that movie. I really love how he has like this style to kind of, he flips it. You having animals kind of dress up as people and navigate the world like that. I guess the message at the end of it is like that we're all wild animals at the end of the day. And I just think that's so real to be able to kind of look at it from that aspect, but still kind of like communicate in just like being human, but also the contrast between the two. So I would say it would have to be that one.
Mm-hmm.
For me, my favorite movie, I'd say, I don't know if you ever heard of it. It's called Under the Same Moon. It's by Eugenio Derbez. He acts in it as well. And I personally really, really, really like him. And I really look up to his story. But overall, the movie, it's beautiful. It's actually one of the reasons why it got me into filmmaking, just because of the whole story behind it. And yeah.
Nice. Mm-hmm. I'll have to check those out. And if you're watching too, if you haven't seen them yet, go look at them, go watch them. So you guys said you were alum. What would you say your journey was like on campus at Dominguez Hills throughout the film program?
To me, so I originally started at community college back in Riverside. Shout out to IE. I went to RCC and I kind of started off of there. And then I piqued an interest in film, but unfortunately it was kind of during the pandemic also. So I never really got to dive in more into like filmmaking. I kind of just took like film independent studies courses for it. But once I did transfer to Dominguez Hills, I honestly really didn't know where it was. It was a very low-key school until I started doing my research into what universities do offer a film program. And I wasn't sure what to expect when I started. That first semester that I transferred, it was all online. So didn't really get that hands-on experience, but still was able to kind of pull through. And then once we did come back, I also had due to personal issues, I ended up taking a break after the following semester. So by the time I came back, we were kind of back on campus. And that's when I got more of a feel for the film program at Dominguez Hills. Very small film program, but I'm very grateful for the experience that I was able to learn, because it really taught me that it would be preferred to have all the nice equipment and everything being more accessible. But I guess the fact that we kind of had to work with what we had really taught me the value of just the community and how you don't need this big, giant, fancy production to make a story happen.
Yeah, totally.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
What about you, Rosa?
My experience started back in 2022. So it was back when the whole COVID situation was happening, and it did kind of suck at the beginning, just because like Sylvia said, it was during the online portion. But once we did end up coming back to school, at first I was not interested in making any friends. But I feel like with the film program, we were kind of forced in a way to work with people. So I kind of learned how to work with them, and little by little we all kind of became friends, and now I kind of see them like brothers and sisters at this point too.
I agree.
That's really cool. Yeah, networking is really important in this industry.
Yes.
I think that's
yes.
maybe 80% of it, I would say, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, you literally can't be shy in this industry. Or nothing.
Yeah, you really have to put yourself out there.
Mm-hmm. You do. Something that one of our old professors, Carmona, he did kind of put the emphasis on it, that you need to get out of your comfort zone. You need to build connections with people. Not only that, but kind of see yourself as the brand. That way, people would have more of an interest to want to work with you or like get to know you.
Yeah, totally. That's good advice. Shout out to Professor Carmona. I'm taking him now for a DMA 400, and he's a hoot. What would you say you guys were like as students, and are you the same now in the industry now that you're actually working?
Me personally, kind of like what Rosa said, same thing. When I transferred, I really didn't think about making friends. I didn't think it would be kind of necessary. I thought I could just get in, get out.
Right.
So I was more reserved. I didn't build connections with them until we had to do our senior project, making a short film, and that's kind of where I ended up coming lastly into the group. But yeah, I was kind of reserved. I would chit chat whenever we would get into groups and just like share ideas in that aspect. But once it came, like leaving the classroom, I kind of just like went my separate ways, and I would notice that there would be a group, but I guess I never really paid much attention about it.
Right.
I've always been kind of a loner, so I was like, But definitely after approaching closer to like our last semesters, when we were kind of forced to be more in a group setting where we had multiple projects going on. So that did end up bringing me out more of like my comfort zone. I felt more comfortable around my peers, felt like I developed some pretty strong friendships with them, and I felt like we kind of clicked effortlessly, which was nice. So it really did get me a feel for just the community of it, and just how many people are kind in the industry and are willing to help you out, just because a lot of us kind of started around the same time of not knowing much. So it was nice being able to kind of go through those experiences of like failing and then getting back up and trying a different approach at it. So I will say I'm much more different than I was at the beginning. I'm more open to like being in groups of settings with people and more open to conversation than versus before, where I was kind of just reserved and not really wanting to. But that was my experience.
That's awesome. What about you, Rosa? Or would you say that you've changed at all since being a student?
Yeah, I think I definitely changed since then. Just because at the very beginning, I feel like I was like just like Sylvia, I was very shy and like kind of more reserved. But I feel like with time, I had to like break out of my shell and kind of become like a leader or like a producer and stuff like this. And that's even like becoming a producer. It honestly wasn't my choice at first. I was kind of just put on the spot by Carmona. So that kind of broke my shell, and I kind of learned different roles here and there, which definitely did bring me out of my shell. So I'd say in that aspect, I did change. And even back then, when we barely started off, when we didn't really have much knowledge of like anything, I did think like how Sylvia mentioned earlier about like the equipment. I'm like, oh, like maybe if we had this equipment, like our things would come out better, or like stuff like that. But now I'm like more open-minded, and I'm like, okay, yeah, we're very limited with what we have, but that's what brings out the creativity out of us. And because who knows, like some people might have like all the equipment in the world, but it's really not going to make a difference, or it's not going to matter if they don't have the creative mind.
Absolutely. No, yeah, absolutely. So of all the outlets you could have taken to pursue the film industry, what made you choose Dominguez Hills as that platform?
For me, so kind of like I stated before, I am from like the IE. So I guess I was looking for anything. Well, when it came to picking my school, I hate to say it, but Dominguez Hills was kind of like my last option.
Okay.
No shade. No shade. I'm very grateful that, the turn of events happened and I landed at Dominguez Hills. I was making the commute also from like Riverside. I was working full time at the time, and also being a full-time student. So like my 2 days off, I would make the drive out here, but I'd stay like all day just working on homework and chilling in the library after that. But I guess that's kind of how I ended up at Dominguez. Like it was kind of a blessing in disguise how I ended up here. But yeah, I mean, I applied to plenty of schools, and my last option ended up being my first option.
There we go. Rosa?
Good. That's why we met. No, but me personally, I was kind of looking at schools, I got accepted to Dominguez, but I did want to stay close to home just because I'm really close to my family, and I literally live like 10, 15 minutes away from here. So that's why I kind of chose the school. And at the end of the day, I'm like, it doesn't really matter where you go, because as long as you find like that group of people at your school and you connect, like you should be good.
Yeah, totally. Seems like you two have kind of found each other.
Yeah, We
Yeah,
did.
I love that. So, off the top of your head, is there any like projects while you were in school that you remember distinctly that kind of inspired you to keep working, or were there any moments that you just like completely flopped and used that as a learning moment?
I guess kind of going back to when I transferred and I took that semester off, I didn't realize the pressure of how you can be graded on your creativity. That I think is
Sure.
what messed with me the most, because then I just started overthinking, and I'm already an overthinker. So it was just kind of like double, and it really took a turn on me where I needed to take a step back, because then the work started to get kind of overwhelming, and I was like having a frustrating time because of like I didn't have the best source of technology back home. And then I just started getting in my head thinking like, well, where can I go from here? How can, I still be original but still kind of follow the rubric that I'm given? So it did kind of make me take a step back, and I ended up going on this journey to look into internships. And I'm like, okay, what if I try to find something? Because at the point I wasn't like on campus yet, it was still virtual. And while I was looking for internships, I really wanted to kind of get a feel for it, since I hadn't done anything hands-on to really figure out if this is for me or not. And luckily, I ended up booking a small gig. West Hall Films, Jeff, you're awesome, man. Still love you. He's one of the directors I got in contact with for my first ever internship. Nice. And it was ended up turning into being this feature film that was shot out in San Jose. So I kind of just like went on a whim and was like, okay, I'm gonna go. I had enough money set up. I like booked my own place to stay while I was there. We filmed that short film within like 2 weeks, and that kind of reignited the flame in me to kind of prove to myself that this is something that I want to do, this industry. Like, I really do enjoy it. I had a good time being on set. I felt like I worked well with others. I got a lot of compliments. I did have a mentor also. Shout out to you, Ryan. You're awesome. He was head gaffer, and he kind of took me under his wing, and he showed me a whole bunch of things about gaffing, which is I'm very grateful for. I still like keep in mind all the things that he taught me during that short period of time.
Right.
I still keep in contact with them, which is pretty cool. I've worked on them also on another short film when Jeff came to California, since he's originally from San Jose. But more or less, yeah, that was kind of just being on set that got me to really, I guess, like lock in and decide that this is what I want to do. Like this, I'm on the right path. This is something I want to achieve.
Awesome. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think mentors are so important,
Yes.
and I think they are more important than they realize, because they're only like kind of spreading knowledge casually, and us as mentees take it so heavily. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy to think about. Did you remember of any specific projects while you were on campus that did really well, or kind of made you the person that you are in the industry, or any flops that you could take as a learning moment?
Okay. Yes. So basically, the project that I remember was the first time that I produced. It was for our senior project for our short film. The short film was called Broken, and I was kind of put in as a producer. I don't even know why. Like at the time, I had not produced anything. I had not done any like above the line stuff. So I was like kind of confused, and I'm like, I don't think I'm fit for this role, like this and that. So I was kind of doubting myself at first, but then I kind of met up with Carmona and then my other friend Tanya and Eric, and they kind of gave me like a little pep talk and like what's expected, and they kind of taught me what I needed to do. So I mean, I was like, okay, got it. Like I'm gonna make sure I get everything done and stuff like that. But in the back of my head, I'm like, oh, like I don't want to mess up. Like, this is my first time producing.
Right.
Like, it's our short film. Like, if I fail, the whole team fails. But I mean, I don't know how I did it, but I did it. I did it, and I'm proud of myself, because since then, that project specifically broke me out of my shell. And I'm like, back then, I feel like I could have done more as a producer, but that's okay, because I was still learning back then. Whereas now, I think I'm better. I'm better. I mean, I'm still learning, of course, but I do think that I'm better than what I was back then, for sure.
That's amazing. Yeah.
She's an amazing producer.
Oh.
She's not giving herself enough credit. Like that imposter
talk her
syndrome
up.
is real. But no, like Carmona saw the potential. Like you're on it. You have like your A, B, and C backup plan. So she's an amazing producer.
That's good. Yeah, one thing I've learned is that if there ever is a time to mess up or make mistakes, it's while you're in school, while there's room to kind of learn from the goods and the bads. You know what I mean? So you guys like just graduated as of like a couple years ago,
Yeah.
right? You've been in the industry for 2 years now, obviously killing it. What's one thing that you'd say you like didn't expect once graduating and kind of going into the real world?
Just how hard it is. How
Right?
hard it is to like kind of put like your imprint a bit, just because you have to go through so many hoops just to even be seen sometimes is what it feels like. Because I remember over the summer I kind of was trying to break out a little bit more. I was just submitting so many resumes that I kind of felt like they were just going through like a black hole a bit. So I did end up taking a step back. At the time, I was working that full-time job at a paint store, and just the environment wasn't really for me. So I decided if I can't break out in the industry, maybe I can find something a little bit similar. So I ended up booking this seasonal job for like a school photographer, which is nice. Like it deals with kids, but then I also like how I get to be behind a camera for it. And I like how it gives me like plenty of flexibility to be able to work on projects that we've been like starting to kind of do on our own now. But in the beginning, it was really tough just because like they mention how it is hard and it's a competitive industry, but they don't mention really how hard it is. That where sometimes it feels like you can't find anything for like months, and then it turns into years, and then you kind of just fall down this spiral. But we kind of did have like a reunion in October when we had this Halloween party from our friend Michael.
Nice.
Who, shout out to Michael for doing that Halloween
He's over there in the back.
He's over there in the back. And we kind of all reconnected there after not seeing each other for a while after graduating, because we took this little hiatus. You know, we enjoyed our summer vacation. Then we came back for that Halloween party, and we were all kind of talking amongst each other, like, so what it's like have you been able to find anything? What kind of creative projects have you been on? Yeah. And we all kind of came to this agreement of like, nope, hate to say it, but haven't found nothing yet. And we all kind of agreed like, well, why don't we make something? Like, let's start off with that. So that I feel like ended up kind of getting us out of the funk a little bit and kind of getting us back in it to start our own thing and hopefully build more of an audience with it.
That's awesome. Sounds like you guys are just meant to be together always.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
So. I really do.
Yeah, that's awesome. What about you, Rosa? Is there anything you didn't expect once you graduated and kind of put your foot in this industry?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, once I graduated, like Sylvia said, I was submitting my resume, applications, and I was doing my research. I literally had a whole schedule, what time I would wake up, what time I would submit and everything, but it all blew in my face, and it's like I didn't get hired anywhere. And it's like I expected myself to be somewhere higher at this point, but I'm like, I don't really see it as a bad thing. I'm like, if I had to work double, like more hard than others, I guess, to get to where I need to be, then I guess that's what I'm gonna do. But like Sylvia said as well, at that Halloween party, things changed because we kind of all talked like, oh, like, how are you feeling? Like, I'm not the only one who's feeling a little bit down with like not being hired and anything. And so that's when we kind of started talking about creating a new project. And the first ones who ever said yes were Sylvia, Michael, who's over there in the back, and our DP, Carlos. We all kind of shook hands, and they were the very first people to show support to both of us with the new project that we will be talking about right now, Mi Querido Viejo. But yeah, I mean, I guess that's pretty much it.
Yeah. Sounds like a good group of friends. I hope you all stay close as long as you can.
You know what's so crazy too? Because I just remembered, like, even though we were so close, like, during school, there was like a whole year or like a few months where none of us really spoke to each other. Yeah.
Was this post-graduation?
Yeah.
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 And that's why
we took our trip.
Yeah.
And then we just didn't talk to each other for a cool minute.
Yeah. I was like, what happened, guys? I thought we were cool.
No, yeah. No, true.
But it was all thanks to the Halloween party.
Yeah. So what is one piece of advice that you would give to future students or prospective students of Dominguez Hills, specifically interested in the film industry?
My piece of advice is to never give up. As cheesy as it sounds, never stop dreaming. Anything is possible. If there's a will, there's a way. You're going to get a bunch of doors slammed in your face before you even think you have like a hint of like a connection. But honestly, take the risk, write the story, because most of the time, most of the best stories go untold. So instead of having that what if, I'd say just do it. And if it works out, that's perfect. And if it doesn't, you can always try a different avenue.
Yeah. Never give up. Rosa?
Me, I'd say don't let fear stop you from reaching your full potential. And I always say this because I feel like a lot of people don't really step out of like their shell or their comfort zone because they're scared to try something new. But it's like, just don't let fear control you. Like, matter of fact, if you're scared of something, do it. That's more of a reason to do it because you never know what opportunities could come out of doing that. And who knows, like you might like trying a different or new position in the film industry, and that benefits you at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's a good one. I live by that one specifically. I think I know one of my favorite quotes is, I don't know who did it or said it, the cave you fear to enter holds the treasure you seek.
I love that.
Yeah, that stuck with me since forever.
Yeah,
so
that's a
I
good
resonate
one.
with that.
I like that
Both
one.
of your advice. Very, very
Yes.
insightful. So I want to open up the space now to let you guys talk about what you're working on and where people can find you guys.
Cool. Well, as that project we mentioned before,
Right.
it's called Mi Querido Viejo. It's a short film that's our baby, basically, coming out into this world. It's been about like a year in the making. We just wrapped it up maybe like February, and we're going to be having a red carpet event for it, which I'm very grateful. It's going to be put on by another production company called Toro, which he's also like, he was in our graduating class, an alumni,
nice.
Alexander. So a shout out to him too for giving us this great opportunity to be able to have that red carpet event to show it to our close friends, family, and any other special guests that are coming by. It's more of like a coming of age short film having to do the relationship between a granddaughter and her grandfather. It touches on culture, grief, and just like navigating your life, kind of channeling that fear and getting through it type situation. So I think it's a beautiful, relevant story. Touches on a lot of things that I feel like a lot of people kind of struggle with when going in from like your early teen years to like mid. So it kind of touches on that. Hopefully later on we'll have other platforms where it could be viewed on. But
Sure.
as of right now, we kind of just submitted it into like film festivals and having that red carpet event for it. The social media page for it is Mi Querido Viejo. And then
Actually, we changed it.
We changed it
now.
already?
It's our production company name, Toro Productions.
Okay.
Yes.
yeah, so that's the new page where it's going to be.
Nice.
But as far as I guess like my socials, mine is just Sylvia.Milvia on Instagram.
That's cute.
Thanks.
Go follow me.
Yeah, go follow me guys.
Shameless plug. Go
Yeah.
for it. Might as well.
What's it called? Sorry, what was the question again?
What you guys are working on,
okay.
where people can find you.
So basically, the project that we just wrapped up, like Sylvia mentioned, was Mi Querido Viejo. And I feel like that's basically the project that we were doing, the very first project that we're doing outside of school. So that's why it's kind of like really important to us because
Absolutely. Yeah.
at the beginning, we kind of had that pressure of like, oh, like we can't fail. Like this time we don't have anyone to rely on. Like back then we had our professors and the school, but now it's like all on our own independent. So, and the fact that we were able to pull it off is amazing.
Props to you
And
guys.
yes,
Thank
and
you.
even because at the very beginning we had a lot of people who definitely supported us. Besides the team, we had like our connections, our family, our friends, and they've been showing the support since the beginning till the end. And I really, really, really am grateful for them. And yeah, that's that's it. And you guys could find the production company at Toro Productions. And then my personal Instagram is just rr.ossa.
Nice. Follow us on Instagram. Well, thank you guys so much, and congratulations on your first short film coming out, which is honestly amazing. I hope all of you guys watching who are students, who want to become students at Dominguez Hills, find inspiration and motivation with the conversation that we had today. I found it. So once again, you guys, thank you so much for tuning in to Ctrl+Alt+DMAC. I am your host, Ben. Have a wonderful day.